I'm teaching a first year class of about 200 students in the science faculty, and when I heard about Retention Centre I was interested in the possibility of using it to track and alert students who were falling behind in some of the assessment. This was important for this course because we had some thresholds where the students were at risk of failing the course if they didn't keep up with some of the work. So what I did with the course was I identified particular pieces of assessment that were going to be issues for the students, and then every few weeks I would use the Retention Centre to send an automatic message out to the students who were falling behind. That was fairly straightforward to set up in the system. The benefit to me from doing this was first of all getting the system to send the messages out, but after I'd done it a couple of times I realised there was a much greater feature in there, that it effectively kept a file for every individual student you'd contacted. So in future, later on during the semester, when there was an issue with a student, I could open the centre and look at that student's file to see how many times I'd sent a reminder to them about what issues. So to me that's probably the most powerful aspect of the Retention Centre, that it's keeping the track, doing all the paperwork to tell you how you've interacted with a student about their issues. At the simplest level you can just take a single piece of assessment and set up a rule in the Retention Centre to alert or select students if they've got too few marks in that piece of work. If you're doing a group of assessments, I found it was easier to, in the gradebook part of Blackboard, create a column that was the total for that group of assessments and then just monitor the total, which you can do quite easily in the Retention Centre. The advice I'd give to anyone using it is to do some experiments, and I think overall an important thing would be to decide you're going to use this system and then try and do all your interaction with the students through the one system as much as possible. Little thing is, it has an option to track or include a list of addressees for an email it sends on your behalf, and always tick that so that when you get a copy you have a very clear record there and then of who got the email on that day. This is again very good at the end of semester for me when I'm saying, oh look, I may have to fail such and such a student, and checking that they got all the reminders. That's the main thing I would recommend. I had a little bit of difficulty with Blackboard putting students who hadn't attempted a assignment into a different category. It didn't recognise them as having a low mark, it recognised them as not having attempted the assignment, and sometimes if you don't watch out you can miss those because they don't necessarily get flagged as having a low mark since they didn't do the assignment.